get your name and the name of your personal brand?
My name is KeSheena. I am an entrepreneur from the west suburbs of Chicago with 3 businesses: Rare Beauty Cosmetics, Real Bosses Club, and in 2015 I launched the Be Heard Foundation.
And what is it that Rare Beauty offers?
Well, I created Rare Beauty with the mission to provide essentials for all races, sexes, and genders to enhance their natural rare beauty. So as of now, I have mink lash strips, I have lip glosses, lip liners, lipsticks, and sugar body scrubs.
What inspired this service? What inspired you to want to start Rare Beauty Cosmetics?
Well, my ultimate goal with starting Rare Beauty Cosmetics was to break beauty standards. I feel like with the way society and social media is set up today, it's a lot of pressure on individuals where you can't be your natural self. So I literally want my brand, like I said, to provide essentials for all individuals to enhance their natural rare beauty. So if you prefer natural makeup, I want to provide the products for you to do that. If you don't like no makeup and you just like a simple gloss or a simple highlight, I want to provide that. But I also feel like I said, with social media and the way that it is today, there's so much pressure for individuals to feel like you have to submit to certain beauty standards, which is tough because people don't feel like they can be themselves. I want to break that and change that with my brand.
So you mentioned you have 3 businesses. What exactly is the Real Bosses Club?
So the Real Bosses Club is a virtual platform I've created to bring awareness or create a community for female bosses to come together and inspire each other. I haven't started it officially yet with the podcast, but basically I'll be interviewing or communicating with bosses to share their stories on their road to success or journeys to success in hopes of inspiring people who's interested in pursuing the route that they're taking.
So what exactly do you consider a boss?
A boss is whatever you want it to be. I kind of broke it down. So a boss is anyone that's built on self-success, self-sufficiency. You a CNA, you a boss. If you're a janitor, you a boss. An entrepreneur, you a boss. You're a full-time student, you a boss. Whatever you're doing and you're doing well, or whatever you're confident in doing, you're a boss.
Just listening to you talk about the Real Bosses Club and Rare Beauty, I feel like one of your main goals is to promote individuality and uniqueness. So with that, at this time, why do you think that's super essential right now?
I feel like it's essential right now with, again, the way social media is set up. Sometimes it's hard, for individuals to feel comfortable with being themselves just because there's so much pressure to kind of fall into certain categories based on social media and what other people think. So whether it's Rare Beauty Cosmetics or the Real Bosses Club, I just want people to understand that it's okay to be whoever you are. So from a boss's standpoint, a boss is anything you're building on.
Do you think entrepreneurship or being a boss for you was always an option, or a learned behavior, something that you kind of aspired to want to do eventually?
No, see, I feel like this was already in me. I feel like what I had to teach myself how to do was sit in class and listen to teachers. Or, the 2 years that I wasted when I got out of college, I had to teach myself how to get up and go to work and, listen to somebody else knowing I'm helping them execute their dream. That was the learned behavior. But what I'm doing right now is truly coming natural to me. Don't get me wrong, it's a struggle and sometimes it's difficult, but I feel like even when I, come home from a long day of me trying to figure out and maneuver through my entrepreneur world, I'm at ease more so than when I was getting up working 9 to 5, coming home, and my mad knowing I just helped somebody else accomplish whatever their goal was for the day, and I still ain't even touched nothing, related to any of my brands.
Right. So how important is it for us to help and support other entrepreneurs, especially within our same age range and demographics and things of that nature?
Peer support to me is the best support. And I feel like it's the best support just because I feel like we can relate to each other, especially millennials. Right now with everybody, building their brand or deciding to come out with whatever it is that they feel that they're great at, this is the best time to help the next person, pull on their strengths more so than their weaknesses, just because social media is a motherfucker. Social media is a motherfucker in a good way, just because it's the best place right now for you to showcase whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're, selling cosmetics, you're selling clothes, you're selling books, whatever it is that you're doing, even if you're a nurse, a janitor, CNA, whatever it is that you're doing, social media has set it up where you can showcase that. So if we can inspire each other on our journeys, Why not?
A lot of people wouldn't take into consideration, like what you said, if you're a CNA or you're a janitor, you're a boss. A lot of people would kind of look at that strange, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that sounds like a worker to me, but I feel like the way that you explain it makes perfect sense.
I feel like it's a man thing though. And the reason why I've decided to pull on it, even with me creating a Real Bosses Club, is because two things. So one, I remember how I felt when I wanted, like I said, to start my own cosmetic line, and I reached out to people who I considered inspirational or successful, and I didn't get any feedback. And I feel like I didn't get any feedback or assistance in, launching my own cosmetic line, just because a lot of us have that crab in the bucket mentality where it's like, oh, I'm up here, but if I help her, she may pass me. We gotta break that. It's enough money out here for everybody to eat.
Nice.
Aside from that, on the opposite end, with me, speaking on, CNAs and janitors, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. And I feel like that's something that people need to understand too. Just because you see me doing it, or you see the next person doing it, and it looks like it's glammed up, that's because the social media has glammed it up. But in real life, this shit is hard. Like, it's dead ass hard, waking up, you might not get no orders. I'll speak for myself. It's days I've woken up, no orders at all. It's days I've woken up 50 orders, 60 orders. Like, it's ups and downs to entrepreneurship, but it's not for everybody. So once you find your niche, perfect it. So if you okay with getting up and, being a CNA, be that shit. If you okay with being a nurse, or you want to be a nurse, a janitor, whatever it is. I just feel like people need to find their niche and perfect it. The same with being a boss, that's mental. Like, that's something that's in your mind. Like, a boss is anything that you do or that you're doing that you're good at.
From what it sounds like, you're really saying that kind of a boss's mentality kind of starts with where you are in your community. So with that, how important do you think community service is?
Well, I feel like community service is above everything else. Like, giving back should be one of the main things that we all do as a boss. Like, it all still connects, and I say that just because I started my own foundation in which I just strictly give back. I don't make a profit off of it or anything. So in 2015 I launched the Be Heard Foundation, in which I've been giving back to inner city kids with school supplies. It started with me actually having a back to school drive in the Lawndale neighborhood of Chicago. And then in 2016 I kind of expanded and did something a little bit different, in which I adopted a classroom. But I say that giving back is important simply because growing up, I never had to want for anything in relation to school. So school supplies, I had everything that I needed.
Right.
It's actually people out here, or kids out here, that don't have the basic necessities that they need to succeed academically to reach a boss level. So I feel like if I can give back and assist them, and at least, giving them the basics or a fair chance at reaching their boss level in their own, state, why not?
Being an entrepreneur yourself, how important do you think it is to support other entrepreneurs?
I feel like it's very important. And I feel that way just because I didn't have that help. So when I started Rare Beauty Cosmetics, I remember reaching out to people who I considered inspirational. I truly remember my senior year of college, staying up 3 o'clock in the morning just researching things on, how to do this. What is the LLC? What is the EIN number? But being that I was there one point in time wanting or needing help, I feel like it's very important, which is what kind of led me into launching the Real Bosses Club. I created the brand to kind of create a community for entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs, to come together and inspire each other.
How do you plan on expanding?
With the Real Bosses Club, I actually plan on reaching out to female bosses and just kind of doing one-on-one conversations in which eventually it can be inspiration to the next person that's listening in. So that's how I plan on expanding with the Real Bosses Club. As far as Rare Beauty Cosmetics, eventually I want a full line of cosmetics that's available for purchase.
What kind of moved you to go into entrepreneurship, and why do you think it's essential at this point in time?
So I'll start from the beginning. Growing up, I've always been told, like, my body language, my personality, all of that was just a bit much. I've always gotten that. So growing up, I never allowed it to break me. Like, I would still just be myself. Either you're going to deal with it or you're not, whether it was peers, parents, whatever it was. I was always myself. So then leading up to college, I decided to major into corporate communication just because I felt like it would mold me in teaching me how to communicate on a corporate level. After graduating, I went into the corporate world and I just realized it wasn't for me. I felt like it wasn't for me simply because I was getting up, spending 8-9 hours helping somebody else execute their dream. Once I come home, I'm too tired to pour into my own brand. So at the end of 2018, I think like December-ish, I decided like, you know what, I'm done. 2019 is mine. I'm gonna go hit the ground running. I'm gonna pour my all into my own brand. Like build on the businesses that I have, start the business that I wanted to start, and like actually take the time that I was spending helping other people execute their dream to execute my own dream. The second part of the question, why do I feel like entrepreneurship is essential right now? Simply because it's easier for you to get help now. Social media again. I feel like the way social media is booming and allowing entrepreneurs to showcase whatever their strengths are,